are watching lesson number 12, Doodly Video Settings. Feel free to pause or rewind this video if you need more time to execute a command. Keep an open mind and relax. The more you work with the Doodly software, the easier it becomes. In our last lesson, we covered Doodly scene settings. Now let's come down here and let's click on this gear icon and check out Doodly video settings. As you can see, most of the options here were discussed in lesson 11. And yes, all of these features function exactly the same as they do under scene settings. The big difference here is that the changes you make under the video settings will affect your entire video. That means every single scene in your video will be affected by the changes that you make here. Now, obviously, I'm not gonna discuss the features that we just went over in lesson 11. So if you have not watched lesson 11 yet, please watch that lesson before watching this one. However, I would like to take a look at the features that we have not discussed yet. There are 5. The first one that we need to discuss is subtitles. Yeah, I know, we went over the subtitles under screen settings. However, remember, I told you that the difference between video settings and scene settings is that the video settings set the stage for your entire video. Well, that means that the changes that you make here will affect every scene that you create. And there is a major difference between clicking the subtitles button under this screen, and that is when you enable this feature here, it will enable subtitles for every scene in your video, not just the current scene that you're working on. Currently, I have subtitles on. I'm gonna turn it off in order to show you the effects that this will have on my scenes by once again clicking on this apply button, and then I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna click on scene settings. Notice that the entire scene settings section is no longer active or made available to me. That's because I disabled it under Doodly video settings, which affects all the scenes within a video. Now I'm gonna go back to the video settings and I'm gonna turn it back on. So I'll just click here and then I'll click apply. Then I'll click scene settings and there it is. Once again enabled. And that is a perfect example of how making changes here sets the rules for your entire video. Hi everybody, Kellyanne here. Now you can watch each of these videos at videocaboose.com where they are neatly organized for you into one continuous tutorial. And that makes it super easy for you to pick up where you left off. If you still need to purchase the Doodly software, I placed the link down in the description box. Click on it. All of my videos are free to share on social media channels by clicking the share button. And oh yeah, don't forget to click the subscribe button. Alright, let's get back to work. Okay, let's continue. I'm gonna go back over to video settings by clicking here. Let's take a look at title. This is where the title that you assigned to your video when you first created it will appear. However, if you make any changes here, it will change the title of your video everywhere else within the app. Let me show you. The title of this video is Getting Started. I'll add the words with Video Caboose. Then I'll click apply and let's just see what we got. Notice the title changed here, and if I exit out of here and I go to the main screen, you'll notice that it changed here too. Okay, let's go back to video settings. Next, we have video ends when. Here, you are going to decide when you want your video to end. If you click on the drop down arrow, you can see that you have 2 choices, either when animation ends or when animation and audio ends. For example, if you have added audio, say like music or a voiceover to your video, your animation may stop well before the voiceover or the music stops playing. And in that case, you would want to select the when animation and audio ends option. Sounds confusing? Let me just show you. I'm gonna select the when animation ends, okay? And then I'm gonna click apply. Now, as you can see, I've added a music track to the video for demonstration purposes. Now I'll click the preview button so that you can see the effects that this option will have. As you can see, the video ended immediately after the hand finished drawing. Now, let's exit out of here. Let's go back to the Doodly video settings and change it to when animation and audio ends. I'll click apply and then preview. Notice how the video continues well after the hand finished drawing? Well, that's the difference between the two. When animation ends, we'll stop the video immediately after the hand finished drawing, while when animation and audio ends, keeps the video rolling until both the video and audio has finished. Now let's look at the erase mode. This setting determines whether a finger or an eraser is used to clear your drawings from the canvas. If you click on the drop-down arrow, you can choose the smart mode. You can choose with finger, or you can choose with eraser, or you can just leave it all off. Now, right now, it is set on smart mode. What does that mean? That means that Doodly will determine the best eraser method to use based on each individual element that is being drawn. In many cases, both the finger and an eraser will be used in the same scene. Say for instance, there is a small section that needs to be erased, then the app will choose to use just the finger. And then if there is a large section that has to be removed, it will use an eraser. And that's how the smart mode works. Here, let me show you. Let's exit out of this screen. As you can see, I have added a couple of more assets just so that you can see how smart mode will use both the finger and an eraser during the drawing process. Now let's just click this preview button. And that's smart mode. Now, you may want to only use the finger, or you may only want to use an eraser. Then you can just choose it for yourself. And then make sure you click apply. Remember, these changes are for your entire video. Now, let's just see what happens when we choose the off option. I'll exit out of here. Let's come back down here to video settings by clicking here, and then I'll click on off. Next, I'll just click apply, and I'll choose preview. If you noticed, nothing got erased during the drawing. Okay, let's finish up. Once again, I'm going to click this settings button and take a look at the last option that's here, resolution. If you click on the drop down arrow, you will see that you have quite a few options. You can choose one of these resolutions, or you can create your own custom resolution by clicking custom and then entering your dimensions in the appropriate boxes. Before we leave, in an earlier video, we discussed this autosave feature, which saves your work every 60 seconds. If you have not done so already, please click this button to enable this feature. This will ensure that your work is being saved regardless of when the last time you manually clicked the save button. Why am I stressing the importance of activating autosave? It's simple. Experience has trained me to do this. Let me give you two examples. One, while I was creating a 14-scene video for a client, the area I live in was experiencing heavy rains and my community lost power for a few moments. I can't tell you how relieved I was to discover that my last edit was saved and I was able to continue where I left off. Then there was the time when I was running behind schedule with finishing a video for a client, and my son was in my office and needed to charge his phone. His hand accidentally hit the red button on my surge protector when he went to plug in his charger, which shut everything off. Again, I was saved by the autosave button and I didn't lose any of my work. What's your point, Kellyanne? Well, the point I'm making is you never know what's going to happen, so set this baby on autosave and give yourself that peace of mind. Well guys, that's enough for now. Remember, Doodly scene settings will make changes to individual scenes, and the Doodly video setting changes the entire video. In our next lesson, we'll learn all about layering the assets that make up your scene. Now, this is a very technical lesson, and it will require you to spend some time maneuvering characters and props that are within your scene in order to reach a specific outcome. So when you are ready to power forward, head on over to lesson number 13, and I'll see you there.